Hey everyone, it is great to see you all again. There is one color more than any other color that I see a lot of photographers struggling to get right. One that you see in almost every single scene, video, or photograph, and that is the color white. Too yellow, too blue, too bright, or too dark. How do we know which direction is correct? Or how can we use our knowledge to determine which temperature is good for a certain scene? Well, in today's video, we are going to go over exactly how you do this, and then stick around to the end where I'm going to show you where exactly a lot of photographers go wrong when adjusting their white balance. So I hope you all enjoy. My name is Jalen Oban. I'm a landscape photographer and educator based in the Pacific Northwest. I create weekly videos giving you photo tips or taking you with me on location to give you a behind the scenes look at what I do. If you enjoy the content, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a like and subscribe. Before we start, I just want to clear the air that I will be referring to white as a color and not a shade. And before any of you try to say white is not a color, while it may not show up on the full color spectrum, it is the color that we perceive when you combine all RGB colors together. So now that we have that out of the way, let's go over exactly what white balance is and how important it is to know how to do it. White balance essentially refers to the process of matching the colors in your image to the light source that you were shooting in, essentially making the whites in your image, well, white. Take a look at this image, for example. When adjusting the white balance of a photo with fairly soft, neutral light, we want to make sure that the color of the waterfall is a true white. To do this, we can use the eyeball method of sliding the white balance slider to the left to cool it down or to the right to warm up the scene. If you're having troubles figuring out what exactly looks right or where to stop, try exaggerating the colors by increasing the vibrance and saturation sliders all the way to 100 and then adjust the white balance slider to where there are equal parts blue and yellow. Bring down the vibrance and saturation sliders, and there you go. That being said, understanding the conditions you are shooting in and also the lighting that is present can really help you adjust this setting to add a nice artistic effect. For example, cooler scenes or scenes that are photographed in shadow tend to like to be a little bit more blue, while warmer scenes or scenes that are taken during sunrise or sunset really like to be more yellow. This helps bring out and exaggerate that light that you had in your scene. Another way you can adjust this in the post-processing stage is using the white balance presets that Lightroom Classic gives you. Try setting this to correlate to the conditions that you had. Cloudy if it was cloudy, daylight if it was sunny, and so on. Setting this in your camera as well can really help you achieve this on location. Although for most situations, I have noticed that Sony's auto white balance setting really works well for landscape photography. This is also another reason I like to shoot raw, is so that I have maximum flexibility when post-processing my image. But say you have a studio space or a location that the lighting is the same every time you shoot or film there. Setting your white balance to a custom Kelvin number can really help productivity and post-processing workflow. Lightroom Classic also allows you to use the white balance eyedropper tool to locate a neutral color like white or gray in your image. It will then automatically set the white balance based on that certain pixel. One thing you really want to keep in mind when editing your photo is adjusting the white balance so it's not too bright or too dark. This can really ruin your photograph. When on location, use the histogram on your camera to make sure that you aren't clipping the whites by making sure the histogram isn't touching the right edge. If your whites are blown, this means you have zero chance of bringing in any information back to those pixels, meaning that there is no detail left. But how do you figure out a right balance between too bright and too dark when editing your photo? Well, holding the Alt or Option key on a Mac and adjusting the white slider will show you exactly how far you are able to go before you clip your whites. Push the slider until you see the white show up and then dial it back just a little bit. This will ensure that you have great balance in your image. And this is where a lot of photographers go wrong. I see a lot of images with gray whites or blown out highlights. Neither of these are good. Being able to understand how far to push your whites before they clip, but not creating dull, gray, almost dark looking whites in your image can create beautiful contrast and really make your photos pop. Now, as I mentioned before, perfectly neutral whites never fits every single photograph. When you're shooting during sunrise or sunset, the sun is going to give all the colors in your scene an orange or yellow hue. Or when you're shooting somewhere cold or in shadow, your scene will naturally have a blue hue to it. You can enhance these by adjusting the white balance slider or using the blue-yellow tone curve to adjust the colors as needed. Many movies use this technique to create a feeling for the viewers. Really take some time to think about how you felt while you were taking the photo and try to portray that in your editing style. Remember, this is art. You want to make sure that your image and your art has the same impact on other people as it did for you. But I hope you all learned something from this week's video. If you didn't already know, I started a Discord server for the entire community to come together, share photos, and give feedback. And then at the end of every month, I will be choosing one of your photos to feature in the Discord as a monthly contest. Other than that, if you could subscribe to my weekly newsletter for weekly updates, and then for vlog, blog, and other video updates, if you could like and follow my Facebook page. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.